guys, happy new year. Welcome to 2024 because I know that you'll be watching this video in 2024 and I pray that God grants all our heart desires this new year. You're welcome back to my channel. You're welcome back to with Follow Me. It's a new year and you are deciding to stick with the brand and to watch this video. So you're the real MVP. Welcome back to my channel, guys. My name is Oluwapelumi. If you're new here, and I am a lawyer and business analyst currently living in Lagos, Nigeria. And I love to make videos about tech. I love to make videos about some things that I find interesting. But for the past couple of months, I have been focusing solely on tech. So if you're an OG, what's good, what's popping? And if you're a new person here, please do not make it your last. I think you're clicking on this video. You're here for a reason. And I hope that you do stay and share the good word. Kindly like, subscribe, share with your loved ones. And of course, like I always say, meet me in the comment section. You're welcome back, guys. Yeah, guys, thank you for the love on the video that I posted the last time, which was on what a business analyst does daily. And that video has kind of motivated me to do this particular video that you're watching right now, because I kind of got a few questions, right? I got a few questions as regards what it actually means in entirety, you know, to be a business analyst. I mean, um what does what does business analysis mean, right? And I just realized that I had to go back and check if I had not done anything about that yet, and I realized that I actually had not never done anything about actually trashing what business analysis mean and what it I just made a couple of videos around being a business analyst, as opposed to for people that are just scouting and just saying, okay, what's business analysis. Yes, so that is why you're watching the video now, and that is why I'm making this video. Right. So, what's business analysis? I think it would be nice for us to start from there, right? To properly define before I go into break them down and all that. To properly define what business analysis is, I would be, I would be defining business analysis according to Babok, right? Babok is short form for be a body of knowledge, like a business analysis body of knowledge, right? And it's a guide set up by the International Institute of Business Analysts, IIBA, right? And so like it's an international body that kind of like that sets up this particular guide called Babok. And according to permit me to read it out, please. I didn't cram it. But since we're stating what it actually means, right? So, again, business analysis is the practice of enabling change in an enterprise by defining needs and recommending solutions that deliver value to the stakeholders. Business analysis is also enables Business analysis enables an enterprise to articulate needs and the rationale for change and to design and describe solutions that can deliver value. The job of or role of business analysis, right, in an organization is for defining the needs and looking at an organization and say, okay, spotting what are the needs, right? And how are we going to solve these needs? What solution is going to suit this need, you know, perfectly, that is going to make sure that this need that we have gives birth when provided with this solution gives this value. Essentially, I have this problem. If I put this solution on top of it, is it going to give value to the organization? Essentially, that's what a business analyst is trying to figure out. And of course, we when I say figure out, right, or do, we do this and we carry out this assignment in a couple of ways. So in doing this, in finding out what the business needs are and matching it perfectly to a solution to deliver a value, of course, we have like three things that that kind of help us. I think I kind of delved on some of them in the last in the last topic, right? the last blog, right? And so, of course, we have research, we have analysis, and we have presentation. The solution that is gotten from research, analysis, and presentation is now what's implemented through projects. Coming from the definition that Babok that I gave earlier on, right, which essentially states that as a business analyst, I'm trying to understand what the needs are, match it with a solution that gives us maximum value, right? Of course, there are like three major principles according to the same verbs that guide a business analyst. So what am I trying to do? I'm trying to understand what the business systems are, right? There's an arm. There are three principles, and number one is business systems. This comprises of the processes, the systems, the interests, the the people in the organization, the process in the organization, the technology in the organization. Now, this is what a business systems, you're trying to understand what's the culture of this organization, what's the people process of this organization, what's the process itself, how are things done in this organization, what is the technology that is involved in getting things done as regards processes and people. Do you understand what I'm saying? So of course that kind of guides you to understand what the needs are. In understanding the business systems, you kind of begin to understand what the needs are, and sometimes based on the process and technologies available, you begin to also understand the solutions that best fit what you're trying to achieve, or the solution that best fit the organization. Because number one, like I said, you need to understand the people, the systems, the technology, and the processes. Number two, there's what we call stakeholder requirements. I remember in my last blog, I mentioned something about stakeholder management, right? In stakeholder requirements, this is where you begin to do your gap analysis. You begin to do your gap analysis and all that. You begin to say this is where this organization currently is, and this is where they are trying to get to. How do we bridge this gap from point A to point B? You understand? This is where you begin to understand the requirements, begin to understand the stakeholders, right? In order to, like I said, and I defined in what business analysis means, to identify the needs, and so that you recommend solutions that best suit the need and the people that you are recommending it for, so that you are not recommending solutions amiss, and so that your solutions that you are recommending is not a mismatch, in as much as that solution off the top of the head can you know can derive maximum value, but unfortunately, but that solution is not best suited for the need of the organization. What was that? What's that word? Round peg in square hole. It will fit. It will fit. Table wise, say let's say you come from an organization, right? So you come from another organization as a business analyst, and you say, oh, Johnny, we got this also value. This is the value that this organization I'm coming from, and you just want to come into this new organization, right? And you just want to plug and play just because you were using this in a previous organization and it got them maximum value. You have to take your time to understand the organization that you are currently in, understand the business systems that I mentioned before, and understand the stakeholder requirements, understand your stakeholders and what exactly they are looking for, right? Right. So, of course, after you've done business systems and you have now done stakeholder requirements, you now have to, number three, you now have to understand or identify options. Say, okay, now I've gotten the need. I have a good grasp of what you guys are looking for, right? And a few solutions are coming to the top of my head, right? So this is where you now begin to identify different solutions and say, which one is best suited for this problem that they have identified. and which solution best fits and which solution will give optimum value because number one, like I mentioned, it matches perfectly to the need. It addresses the concern and the need. So you're now looking at it and saying, okay, what are the options available to us? It's not like, because truly you have to select from from different options. You can't just say, oh, I have this solution, and that's it. What if there's something better? What if, you know, I wanted to say there's something worse. But yes. What if, there's something better than that? What options? Match all the options and say, okay, now we've gotten our round hole in a round peg. No, our round peg in a round hole. I hope that makes sense. I'm trying to be as granular as possible, to speak so that somebody understands clearly what I'm trying to say. There are four major competencies that you would have as a business analyst, right? Let's say on your CV, right? You write your competencies. There are like four major competencies that you must have as a business analyst, that help you along the way and that kind of guide you and say, okay, it's time to do this. It's not time to do this yet. That great thing that you want to do in your head, no, that jumping before the gun, that aligns your steps and your path as you make a move to identify the need, provide solutions, and whilst getting maximum value. And the first one is BA planning and monitoring, right? Business analysis, planning, and monitoring. This essentially deals with organization. When, let's say, you've identified, or let's say you have a project at hand, right? And you have a project that you're trying to achieve, right? And this is what allows you to take a step back, right? And say, how do we proceed? This is the place where you say, okay, how do we do this? How do we organize this? What path is this solution going to take? Is this project going to take? What process are we going to use? What method are we going to use? Essentially, how I want to do this thing. For people that don't understand pidgin, how am I going to achieve this? What part is it going to take? And of course, the other process is going to kind of help you highlight it and put it into perspective how exactly you're going to do it. But that's number one. BA monitoring and BA planning, right? So that's number one. BA planning and BA monitoring. Like I said, that's where you answer the question how. This where your how comes in. How are we going to do this? How, which process, how and which, yeah. How are we going to get this essentially? Yeah. And of course, to number two, this is where you are doing elicitation and collaboration. I know I kind of touched on it in the previous one when I talked about what a business analyst does daily. So I'm sure this is no surprise that this will come in as part of the things that a business analyst does daily. Elicitation and collaboration. It is at this point that you are preparing elicitation materials, there are different elicitation methods of elicitation, interviews, questionnaires, seminars or workshops, right? This is where you begin to prepare and say, okay, by the time I start to elicit, what questions am I asking? Right? What questions am I asking? And this is where you begin to communicate with your stakeholders, right? Remember that in the first part, BA planning and BA monitoring, right? You have identified how to do it. Who are the stakeholders? What are these? What are so in this next stage of organization and collaboration, you are now in the doing. You are now, looking at how you are communicating with your your stakeholder. Am I collaborating with my stakeholders effectively enough? Am I using the right method for them, right, in communication with them? Am I using the right method to elicit information from stakeholders? Should Am I supposed to be doing survey? Is that what am I supposed to be doing? Or am I supposed to just do interview? Will I get what I need or just doing throwing survey out there, or I need to engage one on one, right? So essentially, That's number two, elicitation and collaboration. The business analyst must, it's a must, it's not negotiable, must be able to do these things. The third one is requirement life cycle um, management, right? And so from the word and what it entails, requirement life cycle management, I think it already speaks for itself. It shows you that it runs from the initiation of the project to completion and to retirement of the project. How do I manage what is required to get this project done throughout the life or the lifespan that this project runs? Essentially, that's what it means. How do I effectively manage all the relationships? How do I manage all the elements of the requirements? How do I manage the requirements that have been given to me by the business owner as against design? Because I think I mentioned the last time that you don't work in isolation. As much as you work with your stakeholders and you work with your business, you also work in a development team, right? That designers are part of that team, UI UX designers, right? So you are looking at how you're managing the requirements against the elements of the team and of course against designing. So we are managing designs from start to finish, from the initiation of the project till the end. Essentially, that's what that means. So requirement life cycle management. How do I manage the requirements throughout the life cycle, throughout the lifespan or duration for which this project is on for? Just before we proceed with the video, I like to categorically say, put a disclaimer out there. I'm not by any chance a tutor. Anyways, I just try to impact or share knowledge any way that I can, and share from my experience as a business analyst, right? And of course, some of my trainings that I have had. And it is on this premise that I'm sharing this nugget. Now we're going to the fourth one, which is strategy analysis. I know that when I was defining, I said that it is your job or it's the job of a business analyst or it is the role of business analysis to identify the needs. I know. But however, kindly also note that for this fourth one, strategy analysis, you do not, like I said before, do not work in isolation, right? You are working with a stakeholder to thoroughly identify their needs and they're helping you find solution, because as you're finding solution, you're analyzing it with the needs that the business owner has given to you or stakeholder has given to you. You're having meetings with them and you're saying, okay, this is the need that you have given and this is the solution. Remember in that first one, right, that I mentioned that it is to match your need to the solution and to give value. And remember that I also mentioned that it is your job to identify plenty options, right? So this is where you analyze all the options and say, okay, based on these needs, and make sure that you're getting your needs perfectly. You're working with stakeholders and say, okay, is this the, because can I be very honest? Sometimes at the beginning of a project, stakeholders don't exactly know that they feel like this is the need. But analysis shows that this is the need, yes, but this is also the need. And this is also the need. And this is also the need, right? That's your job. Or they can identify that this is the need, but thorough analysis, can show that, how am I doing my finger, that this is just the need. So when you analyze the need, you identify if it is indeed truly a need. To number four, after you have in number three, just like I said, number three, you have done strategy analysis. In number four, you now begin to do requirements analysis and design definition. The requirements go along with your design because at the end of the day, the design is a representation of your requirements analysis, of your requirements. I said in strategy analysis, you are finding out the options that are available to you. But on this stage of requirements analysis and design implementation, you are estimating the value that each option will give you. I will not say, okay, option one, option A, option C, option whatever. This is the option these are going to give us, and you know, decide where we are going to go with. This is where you now begin to structure and document your requirements, and you begin to validate them. I know that, trust me, I know that you did strategy analysis with your business owner, right? But trust me, a lot of things can become amiss until you document them. It's at proper point of documentation and structuring those requirements that you have thoroughly analyzed, that final touches, or you can see that this is the final outcome. This is where you now begin to structure your requirements and validate them. And the business owner or stakeholder says, okay, we're good to go. It's no longer analysis that was done and we kept in our head, but it's now analysis that translated into a structured presentation of documents and is thoroughly validated by the stakeholders or by the business owner. Now to the final one of the competencies. The sixth one is solution evaluation, according to Babok. And on this solution evaluation, this is where you estimate, and this is where you assess how a solution performs and generates value or generates revenue. So you're saying, okay, how is, or how will this solution perform, and how will it generate revenue and value? And you are saying, because sometimes when you're saying these things, it can create a mindset that you won't have blockers, or but just like life, if you're working on projects, there will be constraints and there will be what we call blockers. Blockers are things that can hinder the progress or process or smooth flow of the project. And so it is at this solution evaluation that you identify what the constraints are, or what the constraints will be. And this is where you identify what the blockers are, or what the blockers will be as envisaged. And this is where you determine how are we going to take all the impediments away, you know, from the road. How are we going to clear our pathway to make sure that we can see clearly and see directly, and ensure that this value and this solution that we have recommended, that we achieve it. Yes, guys. Essentially, remember that from the definition of what business analysis is, I have also delved into the competencies and principles that thoroughly identify or define what business analysis is, and help carry out the task of business analysis. And I thoroughly hope that you enjoy it, because like I always say, I hope you enjoy the labor of love, because it's not easy, talking. Again, I'm currently hot because I live in Lagos, Nigeria, and I have lights in front of me and I'm hot. But I do this regardless. I think I've come to, enjoy this process of just, sharing and imparting knowledge. Um, just from the last video, I've seen a few comments in the comment section. I've seen people reach out to me on LinkedIn, and I've also seen people in my DM on Instagram. And so that shows me that I'm doing something right. If it's just one or two persons, I think it gives me joy. And I have been able to achieve that, in the past couple of months. I've seen, people just randomly reach out to me. I saw your video, people just reach out to me on Instagram and say, oh, wow, albeit small, I love the community that we are building. And I hope that, we continue to learn as much as possible. So I hope in this video you have learned what you have an idea of what business analysis means. And if you're trying to make a decision, whether or not to get into business analysis, you can from this video make an informed decision and say, okay, I think I get what business analysis is. I think I get it. Is it something I want to do? Maybe not, maybe yes, right? I hope you enjoyed it once again, just like I said, and happy new year once again. May this year bring you glad tidings for you and yours and your entire family. So thank you very much, guys. So next time, please, is love and light. Hugs. And please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, share with plenty people, and meet me in the comment section. Perhaps you feel like I missed a few things, or things that you want to add, or you just want to corroborate, anything, just let me know in the comment section. I think I always reply people, right? Not maybe not immediately, but I always, appreciate people that give their feedback and I always reply. So thank you very much. So my next vlog, guys, it's love and light. Bye guys.